Sutam Devam Kangshachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Chatum Jagadgurum Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of the demon Kangsha and Chanura, the darling, dear darling of the mother Devaki, and the Guru and leader of the universe. Om, peace, peace, peace. So we are reading back to the study of our Srimad Bhagavatam reading. So we heard that Prithu, the king, who was extraordinary in his ruling and so devoted to spiritual life, ruled the country, and then he conferred the responsibility of his kingdom and others to his son, and he and his wife, the king and the queen, left for the third stage of life, Vanaprastha life. Brahmacharya, Garastha, Vanaprastha. So he left. And he was exceedingly austere there, which is very unusual for a king. He was a king today, and now he, out of his own volition, that is the Indian values of spirituality which was prevalent in that time, that he even the king himself, who were in the royal royal style of life, to a life of an ascetic, living in a mud hut with thatched roof, collecting some roots and fruits, eating and lying down in the floor. It's very unbelievable. The ideal of the teacher, ideal king, ideal ruler. So this King Prithu had now completed his work. For the work, the mission for which he was incarnated. What he did? Established right kingdom. The towns and villages he had built had now become prosperous. So it is, I am reading on 407, page 407, chapter 4, book 4, chapter 23, 1. So the king, his period, the town and village he built up had now become prosperous. He had provided means of livelihood for all beings of his subjects. That means everyone is employed. He had, for education of his subjects, set an example of righteous living by his own life. He promoted that everyone should be living a moral, educated life. Not whatever this academic education is not important more, but for the education of the subject, he himself set an example of life. He therefore entrusted the earth, his beloved daughter, now weeping, as it were, at the impending separation. Now his daughter, seeing this father now leaving, she was impending this separation. They started weeping to his sons, and prepared himself to go away to a forest hermitage. How? Accompanied only, he'll go with only his wife. Husband and wife go both, leave all attachment of the household life. What a training, Baba. To think about that. It's very severe principle should be in their life, no? So the only husband and wife, queen and king will go away. And your son, daughter, whatever are there, all your relatives, they all remain in the kingdom. And they took the path of a recluse. to the great sorrow and disappointment of his subjects. The subjects also didn't like the king, such a loving king who had created so much opportunity for all the subjects, ideal lover like a father. That's why the kings were considered so much like God, because they are like father, protected the interest of the ideal king. Yeah, of course, everywhere there are this. With the same zeal he had shown, he means the Pritha, the king, had shown in subordinating the world in the past. That means to curb the unruly, unethical people. He exercised his energy and power, prowess. He now entered in the field of asceticism. And this asceticism, not in his own whimsical way, but it is prescribed for the Vanaprasthis. Vanaprastha means so it's a third stage. Student life, married life, third like Vanaprastha, and fourth stage will be sannyas. So now, and practiced it according to its stringent rules without any break-up or any compromise. He followed as prescribed in the rules prescribed by the rules of ascetic life. It is described. And he followed exactly, no compromise of the ideal. 5th verse. In adoration of Sri Krishna, he underwent austerities of most rigorous type. So, he followed the austerity to the extreme. Of course, uncompromisingly. What he did, sometimes eating only roots and fruits. Sometimes only dry leaves, Baba. Sometimes only water. And sometimes only air. That means gradually, he is bringing self-control. I am not dependent on food. I am not dependent even on drinking, not fruits and roots. But what the question of luxurious dishes? So, sometimes dry leaves, sometimes only water, and sometimes only air. In summer, he remained amidst 5 fires. When there's hot summer, that is called the austerity. The Holy Mother did that, Panchotapa. The 5 fires, he set 5 in a circle, and the rule is that you do the austerity. So you go, take a dip in the Ganga, Holy Ganga, or Holy River, and come, and you enter in the middle of the fire and take the name of the Lord there. And when sun is in the high, in the mid-noon, that means extreme heat everywhere, where your mind will be totally into the body and burning almost. And keep the mind steady and think of God. Repeat the mantra. What type of people in those days are gone, of course. Our capacity, we cannot fast one day. If someone says that 2 days fasting continuously, then I will die. And food, this food, that food, this is good, that is good. And this austerity is such, what the question of good food, bad food, this physical austerity, earlier days. Now is mental austerity more. People are suffering from mental austerities, mental torture. Society, everyone is burdened with some mental tension. Physically, it is where people, at least even homeless people, even they have an arrangement for some meal somewhere. So you need not have to drink water. So some arrangements are available even today. But he himself is willingly doing this austerity, even putting himself in the middle of the fire. In the summer period, he remained in the middle of the 5 fires. When it is rainy season, he exposed himself to the rain. In winter, he remained in the neck-deep water. He slept on the bare floor and patiently suffered every unpleasant or painful experience without a murmur. So, all types of austerities, lying in the floor, in the rainy season, just in the summer, in the hot, in rainy season, exposed to the rain, winter season, remain in the neck-deep water. No? That was austerity. People used to do so much and then do the japa. Even this remnant of those austerities are still found. There is a festivity called Makar Sankranti. That is the what this Kopil Muni Ashram, what is that? Sagardip. There is one place in Bengal, in Bay of Bengal area. All the holy people from all over India will come. Thousands and thousands of people to take a dip in the holy water. When the coldest season, wind is so severe, you will be shaken to, and they will go, and that is the time they will have to take the dip. Even Kumbh Mela does not happen in fine days. Worst cold and freezing cold in the water, you go and take a dip in that time. That means how to forget the body, how to forget the pleasure of what the question of indulging all these things of the world, indulging into that, rather strength to go above that. He slept on the bare floor, patiently suffered every unpleasant or painful experience without any murmur. He observed silence, practiced self-control, observed brahmacharya and control of the pranas. That means he used the pranayama, control of the prana. Prana means you can keep the breath stopped, kumbhak. Heartbeat will stop. Brahmacharya, celibacy, self-control. These austere practices, gradually, what it does, it rids his mind of all impurities acquired from the past. All the things which has been acquired in the past, of the past negative samskaras, they will be out, because mind has no time to think about all those thoughts. Mind is totally engrossed into the austerities. That's why called austerity purifies. Austerity purifies the mind. By pranayama, what happens? They control of prana, they learn pranayama. The senses came completely under control, because the mind is controlled by the prana. Pranavayu is controlling the mind. Mind controls the senses. So, by that self-control. That's why Patanjali's yoga, they teach us that eightfold yoga is practiced there. Pranayama is one. That before meditation, according to Patanjali, you are to asana, pranayama. And then you enter into the meditation area. So he was free from all bondage thus. What's 9 verse? What spiritual instruction the holy Sanat Kumara had imparted to him, according to that, he worshipped and meditated on the Supreme Being. So, following meditation in that way, physically doing austerities like that, fasting, or lying in the mud floor, or not caring about the bodily comforts, and not rather hardship, tremendous hardship. No one is forcing, but it is his own choice. That's why they say that you do hardship, this type of hardship you can get as a reward, you can get to heaven. You can get control of yogic powers. Austerity has a value. If it is for purity of the mind, that will make your mind pure. And austerity also, if you don't make your mind pure, you want something, you can get material power. All the yogis have special power. Soon, unwavering and spontaneous devotion to Hari was generated in the heart of that great one. Because of these austerities, his mind was very pure, and the mind becomes pure, it goes towards thinking of God. So his mind being purified by this austere practice, that soon unwavering and spontaneous devotion to Lord Hari, God, was generated in his heart. And he followed unceasingly the disciplines, divine adoration and worship with great faith and sincerity. So he started doing all meditation after controlling the senses, and this by austere practices. That's why it is said that in spiritual life we must have to do some austerity. Some physical austerity is also important. We are too much our body mind is so much asking for all the things, demanding all the things of the comforts, this comfort, that comfort, that. It is spirituality is no to that comfort. And that is mastery, self-mastery. I am not a slave of my senses or my whatever my body wants. That's why Swami Madhavanandaji Maharaj, when he was the president, he was the 7th, 8th, 9th president of our order. So he was, in the evening, whenever time comes, in particular time, morning, evening, so he used to sit for meditation. So his attendant used to put a cushion. So that cushion was an old cushion. He is using for so many years. To somebody, because he is the president, to some devotee brought a very nice cushion by his or her own hand. I do not know. He or she brought it and gave it to Swami Pramothananda, who was in Sacramento and then became the head of the Canada Center. Toronto. Canada, there is only one center. So when he came to sit for meditation, he suddenly saw his old, little thin, tattered cushion has been not found, and then instead a beautiful, soft seat is put there. Then he said, he immediately removed it, and he sat on without any cushion. And after that, night time, he had called the attendant, what happened to my old cushion? Now Maharaj, this devotee, has so endearingly prepared in her own hand and just offered it just for your use. And also your old is so thin and your leg hurts probably, so to get little comfort. Then he said that, return this cushion tomorrow and tell him or her who has given, without austerity, without putting tears for God, no one has realized God. Comfort life is not for spiritual life.
No, the problem is here. Like say, I was used to sleeping on bed. Now for austerity purpose, I start remove bed. Now my body is used to with sleeping without bed. It's no more austerity for me. So then, what can you say about that? Because after some time, hardship, it's not hardship, it's okay.
That's okay, but you can increase always on this side. Hardship is hardship, but now you add little bit cushion here, cushion there, and the right side and left side. Some people sit, I see, some of the people who are not comfortable, so they put softness here, there. Maybe for us, that's why we are not competent to do that type of austerities. That's why Raja Maharaj said, no, one brahmachari told that I want to go for austerity. Maharaj said, what austerity will you do? What capacity you have to do? So that austerity is, that means going beyond body consciousness. Austerity means the body's needs are not important. Your mind is tuned to awareness of God. After sometimes you get accustomed, that is one thing, but you can add and add and add.
Or I can remove and remove to make it more austere.
But purpose should be there. Austerity, it is not for austerity's sake austerity. But austerity is to have control over my body and mind and give that mind to God. Otherwise, what is the need of austerity? So many poor people could not afford anything. The homeless people, see so many homeless people really under circumstances or whatever, they are on the footpath, on the concrete.
Sides road.
And if they have some sleeping bag, I do not know how many have, how many may not. But the rain is coming, the rain is going around you. That does not make you spiritual. But if you having opportunity, you can use more comfortable situation and you say, no, I will not give this too much comfort to the body. But don't make it. You are young people, you can do. Old people cannot do too much. Their body will fail. Then they will have to go to doctor. So don't go that far. But the point is that austerity has its one way of control and relaxing. Everything goes. Relaxation is such a thing, no? It's a down the hill journey. It goes and on. There is no end of it. You give one, then another comfort, and another comfort. Now Godi was this much, now this much, that this much. It is continues. But to pay attention, the austerity to have ever craving for things will reduce and control over the body and mind will happen. And that control, mind and body will go to God. That is, I am doing all this austerity for whom? For God. Meaning is that without tears, without shedding tears for God, the Swami told, no one have realized God. So I will be having all luxuries of things and then I will realize God. This may be very theoretically, it can continue, but in spiritual life it does not have any meaning.
But Janaka, he was a king.
He has realized it. Janaka has realized. But see, he was a king also. Prithu was a king and also doing this austerity. See how much control we have. You can use, you cannot use. Can you do that? Our Akhandananda Maharaj, he used to eat. So much eating, people gives and gives one day. And he does not eat for several days. Okay, that's also okay. That's so much control over the body and mind. So you can, not to see the only one side, but see the other side. That's why Thakur what he said. Everyone quotes Janaka, the king Janaka. But Ramakrishna said, but no one thinks about how much austerity he did. So spirituality does not come without austerity. But we are doing for God. That is the major thing. Even every day we go through many austerities. But we attribute to or blame somebody because of that I am feeling this hardship and this and that. But no, it is for my own sake I am doing so that I will not be controlled by my needs of my body or my mind much, but for the dedicated. It will help me to forget my body mind and go for God. In his mind purified by divine service and perfected by the intense love of the divine growing in it, renunciation and knowledge dawn automatically. So, by this process, in his mind, which is thinking of God, the divine, and thinking and is feeling that mentally worshipping God and this and that, and perfected by the intense love of divine, growing in it, gradually, austerity done, I am doing for God, God realization. So, renunciation and knowledge dawned automatically. Many of our sadhus did tremendous austerities for God realization. Actually, they don't feel they are doing austerity. But they don't feel like... So I have seen sadhus of our order meditating, and they don't want to go to beg food. In Himalayas, you have to go to beg food. If you don't go to beg food at a particular place, like a soup kitchen, here in the homeless people, so, but there is a day and time, no? Date and time. This day here, that time. This day here, that time, no? If you don't reach that by that time, then you don't get it. So you will have to fast that day. So, with the Raja Maharaja's story, he was in Omkareshwar with Swami Sarvadevananda. Anyhow, one of the direct disciples. So, he used to go and bake food for Maharaj. Maharaj is meditating, but keep the food. He have not touched whole day, because he was so much absorbed. And where is cushion? Where is bed sheet? Where is very soft pillow? Nothing. You go to the Omkareshwar, you will find that the room where he did that samadhi, he attained samadhi there. So that place, I had happened to go there. It is a rock, in a cave-like thing in a temple. It is a stone temple, and there is just you can sit there. You can lie down on the rock. And there, food is to bring the food and keep in front of him, but he has no intention to come down to do that. And he never thought that he is doing austerity, because love for God generates. So here also, the king, being so much devoted to self-sacrifice, so renunciation and knowledge dawned in his heart automatically. With the sharp edge of knowledge, he cut asunder the self-centered I consciousness with which man is innately identified. So he making his vichara, the sharp edge of knowledge, I am not the body, not that I consciousness, he abolished. Having realized the Atman, and having abandoned the sense of identification with the body, having cut asunder the knot of I sense with the sword of knowledge, he abandoned even those spiritual disciplines. Now, he was previously concerned that I will do more austerity, this, that. He even gave up those austerities also. That means, as it is, it's called sahaja, as is the simple state, so he remained in that simple state. He abandoned even those spiritual disciplines. For a yogi is liable to suffer a fall from the path only so long as he has not developed unfailing delight and attraction for the Lord's excellences. No? That means there is every time a chance of fall unless you get greater joy and attraction for insight. So he got that. That is, there was spontaneous love for God in the heart of the king, Prithu, and no external discipline is. Then external discipline falls off. He need not have to perform any external discipline when the mind is centered in God. Now, Prithu, after doing this, life's purpose is done. So, what he did, Prithu there, the hero among heroes, on the verse number 13, page 408. The Prithu, the king, ex-king, that hero among heroes, then united his Atman with the Supreme Self, Jivatma Paramatma. Concentrated the mind, lifted the mind, awareness into the supreme nature of the divine. And in spiritual communion and attained to an abiding Brahmanic consciousness, Brahma consciousness, no? And in due time abandoned his physical body. So he just samadhi, that is samadhi. Abandoned his physical body means no identification for the physical body. And now he did some practice of pranayama, pressing the anal region with a heel. He raised up the prana gradually from the Muladhara to the region of the navel, from there to till the higher regions of the heart, chest, neck, brow, and Brahmanic sacrifice in the brain, no? So he raised his prana consciousness, no? Because he is expert in pranayama, so he raised his prana force, the living life force, gradually, and then in the Brahmarandra. When one dies, it is said that how great is that guy? It can be found out through which his prana, life force, goes out. So, in different plexus, it can go to any of the apertures. Someone can go to the mouth, someone goes to the nose, someone goes to the eyes, and yogis, they go to the top of the plexus, head. There is soft place, it breaks, and through that the prana energy runs away from there. So, yogi, as the king, he has mastered all those sadhanas. So he, pressing in the heel, that energy to raise the prana shakti from the Muladhara chakra to the navel chakra, from there to still higher, the heart, chest, neck, brow, and Brahmanic orifice in the brain. Then utterly detached, he dissolved his prana into the universal prana. Baba, he is conscious. Pran he moved it up and it pushed it out from the top of the head. And this prana merged with the cosmic prana. He merged himself, utterly detached, he dissolved his prana in the universal prana. He also dissolved the physical elements constituting the body into their respective universal counterparts. This body is composed of what? 5 elements? Air, no? That is making the body survive. All the cells are getting oxygen, and when this system started, which year? Whenever creation came, no? God created, that time this mechanism has been oxygen coming from the plant life and carbon dioxide going this cycle. So it is prana. So he says that the earth element goes to the earth element, which when you put into the cremation, what happens? The prana vayu, the person dies, his prana merges in the prana. This earth material, the body burned into ashes. Ashes are the earth element. Earth element goes to earth element. All this material food we have taken, when I'll die, they will burn it and it will go back to ashes. They'll throw the ashes here and there. Wherever you throw, it goes to the earth element, goes to the earth element. When you put into the fire, what happens? The water oozes out from the body, no? So, water element goes to the water element. Air element to the air element. So similarly, constituting the body into their respective universal counterpart. Air in the universal air, earth in the universal earth. The space, this body, I am now occupying this space. When this body will go, the space will be given back to whom? The cosmic space. Those people who have died. So long they are in the body, they are occupying some space, no? But when they die, when cremation is done, that space merges into the big space. So we borrowed all these things and we have to give away back. Loan. Earth has given us loan of the flesh and bones, no? Air has given us loan to breathing. Cosmic water has given us to sustain the body. The water part is how much in the body? 90%, 70%, 80%, 90% water. So when we die, what happens? Water element goes to the water element. You cannot take anything back. Whatever body weight, I have become like a sumo person. He will have to give back the water element to the water element, the earth element to the earth element, the air element to the air element, no? Prana element to the prana element. So, and the space element to the space. The space we have borrowed from the infinite space. Wherever I go, I borrow that. That's why I cannot stay in a smaller room. I need a bigger room so that I can lie down there, no? That my space, I am occupying wherever I go. I like or dislike, I will have to take away from the cosmic space loan. But when you repay it, gone, you go back. So, water in the water element, then he dissolved these universal elements, the categories into their respective earth in water, water in fire, fire in air, air in akasha. That means earth comes from the water, water into the fire, fire into the air, air into the space. So he's dissolved the mind in the senses. Now he dissolved the mind in the senses. And the senses in the subtle element, tanmatra, forming their cause, reducing them all into ego, ahankara. They are dissolved in the Mahat Tattva, the universal category. And the Mahat Tattva, the support of all forms, was dissolved in individual self, the jiva, which is projection of the Lord's power of Maya. Abiding in this matrix, the Supreme Spirit, the limitations of jivahood too was cast off. So, that means in this way, he left his body. It consciously dissolving everything into his original. And mind getting absorbed in the consciousness of their Satchidananda consciousness. Now, he passed away, Prithu, the king passed away. And as he passed away, Prithu's wife and queen, her name was Archis. She was noted for her beauty, who was till then never travelled on foot, had accompanied Prithu because husband is going. She also became partner in that. That is the Indian ideal. Look at that. It is not one story. When Rama was exiled for 14 years by his father, no? Ki. Don't you know? Rama was exiled. Do you know?
Everybody knows.
That's what I'm saying, but you are becoming so silent. I am only talking. You will have to talk in between, otherwise I don't get inspiration. So that is the 14 years of exile, no? But Dasharatha did not put Sita to exile. Only Rama was to go to exile, no? But Sita, she said, I will also follow you. Rama said, no. You do not know, you will not be able to endure the hardship. In austere life, I will be running in the forest, under this heart and that heart and under the tree, sometimes under the sun, and barefooted, all this. So, no, you cannot, and there are so much adverse situations. But I will follow you wherever you go. See, this is the ideal. So the wife also follows the path of the spiritual path of her husband. Lakshmana too also. Lakshmana also said that Rama didn't want him, but he said, no, I will go wherever you go, I will go. But more importantly, Sita, they're the queens and princes. They're raised in a different environment, no? Not for hardship, like walking in the barefooted into the forest in the concrete road. Not concrete, they see stony road, no? Pricking all the things in the feet, soft feet of mother. So here also, this queen have never had any archis. She is noted for her beauty. Till then never travelled on foot. He has accompanied Prithu to the forest hermitage. So she naturally, with this type of austere life, was reduced very much physically, owing to the severe austerity of her husband's life. The strain of serving her husband and also eating habits of an ascetics, so which she felt constrained to follow. But he never felt all this suffering because she was serving the ideal that serving God in the husband. That story also, that lady who, the yogi who recognized the mind, read the mind of the yogis. Yogi was sitting under a tree and crow dropping fell on his head. And yogi was angrily looked at that and crow was burnt. So he thought, I got good yogic power now. I have become something great. And he went for begging and knocked at the door of one household. And from the inner side, the lady said that, okay, sir, please wait. I am doing some duty to my husband. After serving him, I am coming to you. But he was restless. I am a big yogi, and a lady dares to ask me to wait for such a long time. When this was going on, the lady read the mind. And she told from there itself, without even seeing each other, sir, it is not like you're burning a crow. I am doing my service to my husband. And then yogi was surprised, how come it's possible? Then she came, how she knows? She has not seen my face even. But only by serving the Gita's idea, serving your own duty perfectly, you can realize God. With the proper attitude. Attitude is the question. Otherwise, everyone is doing service. People are getting into more bondage, ego, frustration, anger. That is the normal result of work, no? Work is really bitter if there is no idealism behind it. It is a slavery. It is a slavery. But it is done with proper attitude, it can release. So that's the Bhagavad Gita came out of that. So this is the point. So here, the Prithu, the king Prithu, his wife Archis, she also followed the path of her husband, did tremendous austerity, and she ultimately also followed the path, how the Prithu left his body, so also the queen left her body. And seeing this dedication of her wife, that means queen's dedication, gods in the heaven, they become very much started praising. And the gods and goddesses, the goddesses are also started praising. My God, glory to the queen who served her husband devotedly in both life and after death, to attain the Lord Vishnu. So, because of that, they have reached the Lord. So, they are all praising Prithu's wife, Archis. So, and then there it ends, this chapter ends with this greatness, glorifying how great was this Prithu and his austerity. And he says, we are reading, those who will be reading this with devotion, they will attain such bhakti, devotion, gyan, knowledge, all this will come. So that is the last part. Praise of Prithu, the king and the queen, and the greatness of listening or reading or discussing this story of Prithu will bring all auspiciousness. Now, this is the end of chapter 23. 24th chapter starts on page 411. After Prithu, the king, his son, his name was succeeded the throne. And this king, his son, Prithu's elder son, he also, seeing other brothers, distributed the kingdom into some zone, eastern zone, western zone, northern and southern. So 4 other brothers, he gave them certain provinces of his empire to govern. Like that story, and so they started now their new life of ruling the country. But they are also very, all these stories of prachetas, they meet the Rudra. What are prachetas, what is Rudra? We do not know. So we'll skip all these things. Now Maitri said, it is called the Rudra Gita. Let us see what Rudra Gita says. I shall teach you a hymn of praise which takes man to the highest goal of liberation. You have to repeat this holy and auspicious hymn in clear accent. Now listen to it. So what is that? Rudra Gita. It is called the Rudra Gita. Gita is how many Gitas? Many types of Gitas are there. Vada Gita, Hunter's Gita. No, Butcher Gita. That's very Vedantic. So Rudra Gita on page 414, Maitreya said, saying so with a very loving heart, Shiva, who was wholly devoted to Narayana, spoke thus to those prachetas standing before him with hands joined in salutation. Rudra said, Rudra means the Shiva. Shiva said, that's called Shiva Gita, Rudra Gita. Rudra said, O Lord, victory unto you, your supremacy is for the exaltation of the great knowers of Atman. May good befall me. You are the ever self-fulfilled. Salutation to you. Salutation to you, who manifest as Vasudeva, the peaceful, the unperturbed, the self-effulgent, and the Lord of the mind staff. Salutations to you as Sankarsana, O Krishna, master of the categories of Ahankara, of the I sense, whose nature is subtle and infinite. This is all praise about Bhagavan Krishna by Lord Shiva. Salutation to you, manifested as Aniruddha. Aniruddha is another name, the controller of mind, who regulates the senses. Aniruddha. Salutation to you, the manifest as the sun, whose glorious light spreading over everywhere. Salutations to you, the gateway to heaven. He is all telling, O Krishna, you are this, O Narayana, you are this, glorifying. the eternal resident of the pure heart. Salutation to you in the form of fire, the accomplisher of the right. Salutation to you who assume the form of the food of the Pitris and the Devatas. Salutation to you who are the nature of earth, who are the bodies of all being, and who abide in the cosmic body. Salutation again to you who are the air, the hold, sway. So it is all praise, praise, praise. Salutation to you who are the fulfiller of all prayers and the omniscient first cause. Salutation to you who are Rudra, the embodiment of the eye sense and seat of the efficiency of the actions, instrument of action and action itself. Salutation to you who are also Brahma, who is the source of scriptures endowed with the power of knowledge, etc., etc. This praise, praise, praise. Therefore, may we have the company of the holy men. O teacher of all, you are verily the revealer of the path to be trodden by the spiritual aspirants who are groping in the darkness of ignorance.
There are no questions.
By the practice of devotion to you, the sages can attain to a state where the mind is neither drawn to nor agitated by external objects, nor is it overcome by dullness and sleep. You, O Lord, are the free and unaffected being. With various rituals and kindred support, the yogis worship you in several forms of spiritual glory. It's all glories. Acha. So ultimately it comes to this point that, O princess, pure in life and performing your sadharma, you should repeat this prayer of him. Ever meditating on this hymn and praising this, adoring him, you get to know the Atman. Repeat this hymn. It is called Yoga Desha, again and again. In day of past, Brahma imparted this hymn to Bhrigu and other offsprings who were desirous to multiply in the world. Whoever getting up early in the morning hears all these recites. I have given up all the praises, but they are saying if you do all these praises every day, then you will be able to break the bond of karma. Perform tapas, austerity, containing the concentrated repetition of the hymn addressed to Paramatman. In the end, you will obtain the highest that can be achieved by a human personality. Time হয়ে গেছে, ঠিক আছে? So now these are not very interesting to us. So we are ending at 4.25. 4.24 end হলো 4.24.79 আর পড়িনি, we didn't read them. What? You are this, you are that, you are that, you are great, you are this, you are this.
It is still better than the way we always, when we see someone, we criticize. Maybe they are teaching to only say good thing about it,
Okay.
not the bad thing about
God, you are good, you are good, you are good.
Just the previous verse ended with the king surrendering all of his elements to the elements, and then the next chapter started with Shiva praising Krishna.
Why? Because But for other people, they're praising. No, actually we don't understand this. Suppose if you have the vision of God in the form of Krishna or Shiva, then you will be overwhelmed. Your heart will bring out such words of praise. But these books are Puranas, are meant for ordinary people, so that they need not have to think of higher thoughts, but following this simple life of praising God, holding their mind in God, leading some little austerities, will gradually purify and move towards God's wisdom and knowledge. So this praise, that is from, actually these are not needed, but this who got his vision, probably they want to praise God. And thanking, it's a thanksgiving. He does not need, Shiva does not need, or Krishna does not need, but other people, by this way of praising, their mind will be purified. That's the purpose. But actually we cannot take those much praises. 79 verses were praises. So I gave up. Nishan is asking, besides working up before sunrise for meditation and trying to tell the truth always, what other qualities do you suggest I perform? Yeah, you do your japa, all the mantras you got, and do what you are doing, that's enough. You know, it is, spiritual life is simply how you think of God day and night. How our mind, which is naturally get vitiated with the things around, no? It makes us mind restless, disturbing. How it can be turned and cooled down to bring it into God-centric life. How to remember? That's why it is said, do japa. Do japa, not mechanically, but you can think and do japa. Think that presence and feel it. So I don't think that anything extra is necessary. Holy Mothers, there are many things one can do. But Holy Mother, Thakur, they are very simple. They say, Saran Manan. Every day to remember and to feel the presence. Sadhu Sangha, holy company. Reading book is a holy company. Meditation is a holy company. Doing the japa, that is a holy company. So, and going to holy places is holy company. But you have to think how much you can afford to do all these things. But to yourself, you can be connected with God every moment by holy mantra. And mantra has its power, own power. We don't know the power of mantra because we have not exercised that. We have practiced that much. If that is practiced, its power is such that it can manana trayate. By repeated practice, one will be able to get out of the bondage of birth and death. So that's another question. Incarnations such as Prithu are portions of Krishna. ISKCON folks say that Canto 1 to 9 lead up to Canto 10, Krishna pastime, which is what SB is all about. How does hearing about Prithu prepare us for Canto 10? Yeah, Canto 10 is what? Krishna's pastime. Krishna when he was a child and how he played with the... So that is the pure love. So to get to that pure love, we will have to practice what the austerity we read Prithu did, and ignoring the body's needs or putting little hardship on that, so that mind becomes lazy, body becomes lazy. So how to overcome the laziness? Laziness is counteracted by austerities. Not a relaxing life. So that type of practice will help us to make our mind pure, and when the mind will be pure, then what will happen? It will move towards God, love for God will happen. Can a person design their own austerity since they know themselves best, or is it most effective to try to follow Dhruva Prithu's example? No, no, no. I think that we should have to find our own limit of austerity. We are not in that age, in that circumstances, no. Our childhood, youth, everything is built up with one type of situation, no. We cannot do too much. It will break down the health. It will tell upon the mind. So it will be mind may be totally lost in that too much austerity. Everyone will have to decide how much austerity. Someone may need 10 hours sleep. Someone may need 8 hours sleep. Someone may 7 hours. Someone may 5 hours sleep. But you should not force that I will have to go 3 hours sleep and I will be a yogi. If you do 3 hours sleep, then the brain will not get oxygen and your meditation will go away after a few days, then you will be lost. You cannot think much. So we will have to know our capacity and gradually increase that. That is for us. And for the modern time, we don't go for physical austerities more. Rather we go for, this is the austerity, to remember God. Is it not an austerity? Austerity is only going into the cold, in the winter season, in the sun, in the hot sun, 100 degrees, and then bathe in the sun, burning the skin, and then going to the dermatologist. So that should be balanced. We are not fit for that. But main thing is that it is an austerity to take the name of the Lord continuously, to remember God. That's an austerity. We should do that austerity. Whatever situation we are there, if we think, oh Lord, I am serving you only, that's an austerity. Rather than much better austerity than that of dipping yourself in the cold water, in the frozen cold water and coming out. That time it is better that I did it whole day. I remember him. I wanted to remember him all the time. So that we should practice. Gyan is love, is universal and the same for all beings. So why do we see spiritual teachers showing great love and scolding to someone of their disciples versus others? Gyan is love, is universal. Yes, love for what? Love for the Atman. Not for those things which are covering the Atman. No? We will love God. You dislike what is ungodly. So what is ungodly in the life of the disciples, Guru scolds them. So that those unlikely things go away, his essential thing comes out. So what we find that the Gurus sometimes scold or the teachers scold us, if he is a real teacher, he only scolds to take away our negativities. If the negativities go, what will remain? Only good will remain and God will remain. So for our perfection, in our tradition, Belun Moth tradition, our Swamis, when we are raised, the higher Swamis were very critical, very minor, little this tidbit was a big issue for them. And they will scold and say, you want to meditate, no? With this type of mind, you do one thing and you forget the other thing. You have to place it here, you would give it there. You took this pain from here and leave it there. With this mind you want to meditate? Huh? And then goes on and on. For us it is meaningless. Why is scolding so much? What is the matter if I put it here or there? That means you are unmindful. You took it from here, you keep it there.
Keys.
Huh?
People take key from this place and keep it.
And that we understand. If we misplace the key, what happens? So it happened for me today 2 times. When I was traveling, I kept my phone. Where shall I keep? Just in the line, when I was getting into the plane, I'm thinking, where is my phone? Where is my phone? Searching. I came out of the line. Where I sat, I went, it is in the bag. Bag I searched in one place, but I kept it in another place. Unmindful. Spiritual person should not be unmindful. That means you are callous. Your sharpness should be there. With that sharp mind only we can think of God. Dull mind cannot think of God. Dull is lazy. And active mind is jumping. Jumping mind cannot do anything. Dull mind, sleeping, it cannot do. Only sharp mind can see the divine. So that's why teachers teach us. It is their love for us. Because they point out our weak points which we should overcome for our own spiritual growth. Another question, is there a way to not feel pride when we finish or perform a task well? This pride feels like being puffed up. Should we feel indifferent to how well we have done a task? No, I think it is very correct. There is a not to feel pride. No, you should feel proud that I did it rightly. But say, oh Lord, I did it because you were kind to guide me. By your grace I did it. Let me be proud. A good job I did. Yes, I did it. I should be feeling little so that I do this type of work more. But the pride should not bring the glory to me, but mentally think, oh Lord, they are praising you. You are so kind, you guided me. That's why the work becomes so good. So it's the internal attitude, how you talk to God inside. Outside, this pride is good. The haphazard work, careless work, it does not bring anything. Even the world does not accept it. In the corporate structure, you go and do some job, not very organized, not very meaningful. Will your boss like it? But if you do good, yes, they will like it, you will like it, and you should be proud that I did it. But how you do it? Not by your own power. You think that God behind has guided me well, that's why I did it very perfectly. Oh God, guide me more so that I can do your work more perfectly. This is the thing to be understood. Spirituality is not in some other place, but spirituality in perfection. Okay, so hope to see you then again next class at 7:30. We'll be in our Shanti Gita. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ram Krishnarpanamastu.